Hello and welcome students to the SRBPS virtual classroom program. I am your biology educator Prerna Rathi. I hope you are all making complete use of our YouTube channel. Now let us come and see what I have got for you today. So students, today we are going to begin the next unit of our syllabus, the unit 4 we will be dealing with, which is actually plant physiology, where we would be learning about various processes that occur in plants. Okay, so in this unit basically we would be dealing with certain life processes of plants, like firstly the transport of material in plants, where we would learn the movement of material in xylem and phloem. Then we would learn about mineral nutrition. Then we would learn about the process of photosynthesis in higher plants. Then we would learn about the process of respiration, how that food is broken down in the plants. And lastly we will learn about plant growth and development. So these are the 5 chapters that we will be learning in the plant physiology unit. Today children, we will be starting transport in plants. So let me introduce the chapter to you. Plants need a transport system so that the cells deep within the plant tissues can receive all the nutrients they require for their growth and various life processes. The problem with plants is that roots can obtain water but not sugar. Roots cannot obtain sugar, they can only absorb water. And the leaves can produce water but they can't get water from it, can produce sugar. So leaves क्या कर सकती हैं? खाना बना सकती हैं, पानी नहीं ले absorb कर सकती हैं बाहर से. रूट्स पानी ले सकती हैं पर खाना नहीं बना सकती है. तो इसका मतलब प्लांट्स को क्या रखना पड़ेगा? एक कोऑर्डिनेटेड सिस्टम रखना पड़ेगा so that all of it works properly. Plants do not have a circulatory system like us. They don't have blood vessels. They don't have a pumping organ like heart to pump things throughout the body. Over small distances जो transport होता है, that is done by diffusion. थोड़ा बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा हो जाता है तो through active transport. Also cytoplasmic streaming is possible. Transport over longer distances occurs through special tissues called the vascular tissues. What are these vascular tissues? These vascular tissue system, children, consists of 2 parts, the xylem and the phloem. Together they make the vascular system of the plant. Xylem tissue transports water and minerals, which is known as the xylem sap, a mixture of water and minerals. These minerals are basically dissolved in water. अकेले ये mineral absorb नहीं कर सकती है. Root क्या करती है? Actively absorb करती है water from the soil. When it absorbs water, these minerals are already dissolved in water and hence they are absorbed from there. The mineral nutrients are taken up by the roots and they are transported to the entire plant. They are transported from here to the entire plant using the xylem vessel. Okay, apart from that, there is a process called translocation, where the photosynthetically prepared food from the mesophyll cells of the leaves is transported throughout the body, either for storage or for usage during some life process, some active cell process also. This process is known as translocation. Let us read. This is the process of transporting food substances downwards from the leaves to all the other parts of the plant through the phloem. You must add that this is the photosynthetically prepared food. ये कौन सा food है जो उसने photosynthetically prepare किया है? How does the direction occur? Unidirectional flow of water and minerals. रूट से स्टार्ट होते हैं. कैसे ट्रांसपोर्ट होंगे? देखो, हमेशा पहले रूट में पहुंचेगा पानी, फिर जाइलम तक पहुंचाएंगे, जाइलम से स्टेम में जाएगा, स्टेम से ब्रांचेस में, ब्रांचेस से लीव्स में, लीव्स के अंदर फोटोसिंथेसिस के लिए यूज़ हो जाएगा. प्लांट्स और जो आपका ये होता है दिस फूड, फोटोसिंथेटिकली प्रिपेयर्ड फूड, वो लीव्स से पहले फ्लोएम में जाएगा, स्टेम में जाएगा, ब्रांचेस में भी जाएगा, रूट में भी जाएगा. ठीक है, दैट इज़ हाउ इट फ्लोज इन मल्टी. द फूड फैक्ट्री, फोटोसिंथेसिस चल रहा है, फ्लोएम नीचे तक खाना पहुंचा रहा है और जाइलम ऊपर तक पानी पहुंचा रहा है. ठीक है, द ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम कंसिस्ट ऑफ 2 थिंग्स, द जाइलम एंड द फ्लोएम. वी हैव ऑलरेडी डन दिस इन द सेकेंड यूनिट, वेयर हाउ एंड वेयर द जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम आर पोजिशनड इन द रूट्स, इन द स्टेम, इन द ब्रांचेस, एवरीवेयर. इन द लीव्स ऑल्सो वी हैड स्टडीड द प्रेजेंस ऑफ जाइलम एंड फ्लोएम during the anatomy. When we were studying about the anatomy of the plants, we had discussed all these there. Fine. Now let us discuss the plant-water relations. What are the plant-water relations? Water is an essential component of all physiological act. It is the solvent basically where all the physiological activities will occur. बिना पानी के कोई भी फिजियोलॉजिकल एक्टिविटी प्लांट में नहीं हो सकती है. इट प्रोवाइड्स द मीडियम वेयर और मतलब बेसिकली वाटर इज द सॉल्वेंट जिसके अंदर ये सब कुछ होने वाला है. अंडरस्टूड चिल्ड्रन? ओके. द प्रोटोप्लाज्म ऑफ द सेल्स इज नथिंग बट वाटर. जो प्रोटोप्लाज्म होता है सेल का वो क्या होता है? पानी होता है. उसके अंदर वेरियस प्रोटीन्स एंड वेरियस अदर थिंग्स आर सस्पेंडेड और डिजॉल्व्ड. मोस्ट herbaceous plants have only about 10 to 15% of fresh weight as dry matter. So most of it is water. जितने भी herbaceous plants होते हैं they are rich in water. They have most of it is water. How did the plants absorb this water? ये water कहाँ present था बेटा? ये water roots के बाहर soil में present था. Plants ने ये water कैसे absorb किया? The roots absorb most of the water that goes into the plants. Obviously that is why we apply the water to the soil, not on the हम ऊपर leaf के ऊपर पानी नहीं छिड़कते हैं. कभी भी we add water टू द सॉइल. हम गमले में नीचे पानी डालते हैं क्योंकि रूट्स वहाँ से अब्जॉर्ब करके पूरे प्लांट को सप्लाई कर देंगी. द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ अब्जॉर्प्शन ऑफ वाटर एंड मिनरल्स इज ऑन द रूट हेयर्स. द मोर द नंबर ऑफ रूट हेयर्स, मोर विल बी बेटर विल बी द अब्जॉर्प्शन ऑफ वाटर which are present like root hairs. Millions of root hairs are present on the root. Root hairs are thin walled slender extensions जो root epidermis से निकलते हैं. We've also read about them. Stem से trichomes निकलते हैं, root से root hairs निकलते हैं. अभी बताई थी वाई इज़ वाटर ऑब्जॉर्ब्ड अलॉन्ग विद द मिनरल सल्यूट्स. बिकॉज ये जो मिनरल सल्यूट्स हैं ये एक सल्यूशन बना लेते हैं. दे फॉर्म अ सल्यूशन विद वाटर. दिस मिनरल सल्यूशन इज अब्जॉर्ब बाय द रूट हेयर्स प्योरली बाय डिफ्यूजन from higher concentration to lower concentration. Once the water is absorbed by the root hairs, it can move deeper into the layers by two distinct pathways. एक बार वो कहाँ पहुँच गया? रूट हेयर में पहुँच गया. आगे वो दो पाथवे फॉलो करेगा बेटा, द एपोप्लास्टिक पाथवे और द सिम्प्लास्टिक पाथवे. एपोप्लास्टिक पाथवे इज द पाथवे विच इज़ फ्रॉम सेल वॉल टू सेल वॉल, सेल वॉल टू सेल वॉल, सेल वॉल टू सेल वॉल. इसमें जो पानी है, वाटर मिनरल्स हैं, वो अंदर एंटर ही नहीं करते. ऑन द अदर हैंड सिम्प्लास्टिक पाथवे कौन सा होता है? which is crossing the, here it is given opposite, actually this is wrong. Okay, here which crosses the protoplasm, that is symplastic pathway. It will reach the xylem and from xylem it will rise upwards. Okay, there are like different means of transport. First is diffusion, then facilitated diffusion, then passive symports and antiports, and active transport. Let us discuss all of them one by one. Let us start with diffusion. As we have learnt in smaller classes like class 9, diffusion is basically the movement. It is a passive process. It is a movement of particles from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration without any barrier. मतलब इसको कोई opposing force नहीं लगती है. There is free permeability to the molecules that are diffusing. There is no energy used here. The natural kinetic energy present in the particles will help them to move towards inside or outside. Diffusion is the net movement of molecules or ions from a region of high concentration to a region of lower concentration. Diffusion is responsible for the gaseous movement in the plant. By certain things. One, concentration gradient. जितना ज़्यादा concentration gradient, 100 to 2 move करना will be much simpler as compared to 100 to 80. Though there is a concentration between 100 ml and 80 ml or 100 gram and 80 gram, but the gradient is too small. Whereas if the gradient would have been as big as 100 gram and 2 gram, then the movement would have been really quick. नेक्स्ट इज परमिएबिलिटी ऑफ द मेम्ब्रेन. जितना छोटा पार्टिकल होगा मेम्ब्रेन उसे फ्रीली अलाउ करेगी अंदर जाने के लिए. सो द मेम्ब्रेन परमिएबिलिटी इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट. ऑल्सो इफ द मॉलिक्यूल दैट इज डिफ्यूजिंग इज hydrophilic, then it would not be able to get transported very easily, because we know that our plasma membrane is made up of lipid bilayer and fats are water repelling, so it would actually repel any hydrophilic moiety. Then the temperature and pressure. Higher the temperature, more will be the kinetic energy. Hence more will be the movement of diffusion. Okay, and similarly is with pressure also. जितना ज़्यादा pressure होगा उतनी ज़्यादा diffusion होगी. Understood? Once inside the xylem, can you see the symplastic pathway यहाँ पे दिख रहा है सभी को? सिम्प्लास्ट कैसे है, प्रोटोप्लाज्म को क्रॉस कर करके जा रहा है, जबकि एपोप्लास्ट कौन सा है, वो सिर्फ सेल वॉल टू सेल वॉल जा रहा है. सिम्प्लास्ट water and ion absorption में help करता है symplastic pathway. I hope everybody has understood the concepts of symplast, apoplast and the concept of diffusion. In the next class we will be starting with facilitated diffusion and we will go beyond that further. I hope everybody has understood this. I hope you have all understood what I taught you and you are making complete use of this YouTube channel. Until next time, take care, study hard. Goodbye, children.